Do the intro, X.
Go ahead. You got
Hardball champion, 50 boy. Shout out to 50 boy. Go ahead, X.
What up, though?
BMF.
No. Drop no. Talk about the music too. The 112.
Let's talk about how he my man said he could do it anywhere.
My childhood. Talk about it.
When you was out there, where was you at in the 2000s? My man said you can calling me, be calling me. All right.
Appreciate
if you don't
that.
know who we talking about,
Lil Zane.
do you still go by Lil Zane?
Man, that's my name, man. That's
Where you still do the Lil?
That's trademark right there.
Lil Zane is
Zane
in the
in the
building.
I always say this, do Dow soap, has it been Dow soap forever?
It's a fact.
You know what I'm saying? They
It's
got
a
different
fact.
colors, different, they don't change it to Dow blue, nothing. It's just
Nah,
Dow
it's
soap,
just
bro.
Dow soap.
You know what I mean? I work hard for that name. You know what I mean?
And I feel that, and I'm with that, bro.
But shout out to Big Zane, man. You know, my dad is Big Zane. So
Where you go by Big Zane?
Yeah, out of respect. Like,
that makes sense. Though.
growing
that's
up,
hard.
I was always called Lil Zane. Like, when my mom yelled, like, Zane, it's like, which one?
Right.
Lil Zane, Big Zane. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Big Zane, man.
We got Lil Zane in the streets with voices in the street. But first of all, I appreciate you coming through.
Man, I appreciate you having me, man. Feeling good. Woke up this morning, blessed. You know?
Word. My dog, Jason, work on the show with you as a 50 boy.
Yeah, that's what's up. What
that's
up,
my
Dink?
boy.
What up, Dink?
My boy. Yeah. So, but let's, you know what I'm saying? This is me, because they all, you know what I'm saying? I'm the least like acclimated with your actual music more than like your acting. I've seen you more acting than that. Because when you was like super in the music industry, I was like elementary.
He wasn't.
So I was like, you know what I'm saying? They was
outside.
just they tried to do a whole cram session. I don't even like to fake like that. I like to get just straight up ask people about like their time. What was it like for you being, how old were you first of all when you got signed?
When I got signed, which time?
The
my
first time
I ever got signed, I was like 12.
Mm-hmm.
So what's that like being 12? Because when you was 12, that was around the same time where all of the boy bands was going crazy, and Marion and them was going crazy.
Yeah,
what was that like?
You know, like when I first came out, like and got signed, you know, it was Atlanta was crazy. You had people like, like you said. But even before that, I got signed before all of them. I was a kid when I got signed, so like, you know, I was out there when Criss Cross was out there when Jermaine first started.
90s.
You know what I'm saying? Like early 90s. Like I was a kid, like a teenager. Like, well, not even a teenager, like 11, 12. And then I just kept getting another chance. I got my second deal when I turned 18. And that was like around the time B2K. You know, the Bow Wows, the B2Ks, different stuff like that. So
what's that difference? What's the difference between that first check and that second check on signing?
I mean, the first check, I was a kid. The second check, second check, I was able to touch the money and able to, you know, really understand what I had, you know.
So how did that go for you, touching that money, 18? We don't even need to know how much it was unless you feel like disclosing how much that second check was.
At 18, you know, just put it this way, you know, from doing music to doing TV to commercials to endorsements, you know, you touching money. So, you know, I blew some, I invested some.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? I showed love with a lot. I toured the world, brought my friends out the hood. You know what I'm saying? I did a lot of things like to this day that's still paying off.
Yeah, News and Talk 1380 WAOK, Voice in the Streets, Unfiltered. If you're just tapping in, we got Lil Zane in the building, kicking it with us. All right, so I was around during your reign. Right?
Okay.
Look at his face. Look at his face.
So I remember, like he said, during this time, there was a lot of young acts. It was like a resurgence.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because like, you know, early 90s, you had Criss Cross and stuff like that. But then 106 and Park dropped. When 106 and Park dropped, it allowed the door to like open up for a lot of people to just come in and
what year was
shop.
106? Like late 90s?
No, this was 2000s.
Okay.
So so in the early 2000s.
Early 2000s.
So Bow Wow, Romeo, you had Zane, you had Sammy, you had B2K, you had
Sammy.
You had a lot of Wayne. This is Wayne. Okay, so Lil Wayne
Was little, I remember.
When this was kind of like Wayne was in after Block is Hot. It was Lights Out Lil Wayne.
Yeah.
So this is like second album Lil Wayne. Before 500 Degrees and right after the Hot Boy. Right after Bling Bling. So Zane had a run. You know what I'm saying? He got on that 112 joint. And that just went crazy. How did that happen? How did Anywhere?
Yeah, let's get the studio set. Let's get the studio story.
You know, Anywhere just, you know, we had the same management, you know what I mean? So they kind of put us together on that. Shout out to 112 too. It was just, you know, that was destiny. I was brought to the studio one day and 112 happened to be in there and, you know, they embraced me and was nice enough and dope enough to, you know, take somebody that didn't really even have no attachment to them besides just the same management.
Yeah.
And you know, they trusted me enough to give me a shot to jump on that song, and it was a lot of other people trying to get on that same song, but I end up, you know, beating everybody out and got on that verse, man. It was crazy.
Yeah. Okay. So that kind of puts you in a new stratosphere, right? So because now you got attention that you didn't get probably before. Price probably went up, all that stuff.
Right.
So you dropped Calling Me. How did that go? And
before that I dropped Money Stretch. Before that I did Money Stretch off the Next Friday soundtrack.
Okay.
With Ice Cube. Shout out to Ice Cube too. He, you know, Ice Cube was again just dope enough to you know, they had cassettes out back then. So
I remember. Yeah.
Ice Cube put me on the B side to his cassette. So he was on the A side with one song. I think it was We Be Clubbing or something like that.
Yeah.
And then I was on the B side with Money Stretch. So, you know, when he went platinum, I went platinum.
Hey,
you know
that's what I'm talking
so,
about.
You know, shout out to Ice Cube. And, you know, that was just a blessing too. Because if you watch the Next Friday soundtrack at the end of the movie, my video come on at the end of the movie while the credits is rolling. So I thought that was so dope. I was watching the video the other day just on some like I never
nostalgic.
really watched my old videos. I never really, it's been years since I watched my old stuff, and you know, I don't even like really playing my old music if I'm around. Like I play new stuff. So I was like, you know what? Let me go back and just see
How's that feel? How did that feel? Or how does it feel when you finally do? Because I know some people just are like they're real humble. So they're like, I'm not one of these dudes who just walk around like with my music just blasting, just like I'm
now
not
my new stuff I do. My new stuff I be loving. Like
of course.
But with my old stuff is just I just kind of go back to just remember what people love about you. You know, what people love about you and what you brought to the game. You know, and I just noticed like when I was watching my old video, you know, Clifton Powell and all the characters from Next Friday actually went in, like they an extra day they went in, like, because if you watch the beginning of my video Money Stretch on YouTube, they actually like they're sitting in the living room watching my video on TV. So now that I'm old enough and I know how the background works, it's like, yo, they were called in on a separate day to do that.
Right.
Like they all either got paid or just did it for free. I can't remember because I wasn't in the budgets back then. I'm just an artist back then. But, you know, just the thought that they all took their time out, came, shot that part for my video just so it can go on the end of the movie. Like, I thought that was dope. As I was looking at it, I was just like, you know, it was a lot more that went into that than I thought about back then. You know what I'm saying?
The last year and a half, like, you know what I'm saying, my people that's like in the NFL and the NBA and stuff like that have been like on me about, yo, bro, stop drinking, don't drink Dasani.
You gotta drink more water, man.
Not even just the water, but drink alkaline. Don't just drink regular degular water.
Definitely can't drink regular degular water.
Click on that unwind.
You definitely gotta drink good water because
it's hard.
Make sure your pH balance and everything is on point.
Oh, and it basically freeze all over if you put it in the freezer. And
it frosts up. It frosts up when you put it in the freezer. It's alkaline water too. So, you know, if you know anything about alkaline water, you know it's better when you drink it in the club like we be drinking. Alkaline just sobers you up a little quicker. Anybody, you know, diabetics, anybody with health issues, they always cancer. Alkaline kills the cancer cells, different things like that. So, you know, it's alkaline water, natural alkaline water, black owned. You know, we got a spring out in
supporting that.
Yeah, we partners with a spring out in Chatsworth, Georgia. Shout out to Keen
Now,
Water.
how you do something like that? Do you have to go looking at different water springs?
Yeah, man, it took me a while, bro. First I designed the bottle. You know, we designed the bottle first, and once we had the design we wanted, it took us, you know, a lot of time to find a company that would use our bottles. You know, and because everybody wanted to use their own bottles, and finally we ended up finding a black-owned spring that would let us use our own bottles. And
that's interesting that they would be like, that's the deal breaker that you want. We can't bring our own bottles.
Yeah, because it's you know, because you're putting water in wine bottles, so they're used to, you know, and our bottles are glass and plastic too. So, you know, so they were, you know, they didn't want to risk the glass breaking in the machine. Yeah. So it was just, so we had to go buy different machines and link with a company, buy machines, put our machines in that warehouse. Wow. It was a process, yeah.
Definitely.
So I wanted to get into, you know what I'm saying, before we hop into your acting bag, because you were acting the whole time, you know what I'm saying?
No doubt.
Different things.
Yeah.
What movie was that where you were in it with playing Raven's boyfriend?
Oh, that was Dr. Doolittle too.
Dr. Doolittle too, you know what I'm saying? So you've been doing your thing, but I wanted to focus more on the music because I'm fascinated by like 2000 to like 2004 music, right? Because like I was telling you during the break, I feel like a lot of artists, young, old, whoever you want to be, got just jerked during that period because there wasn't the access that it is now to studio and recording time and all of these different things. I know the budgets was crazy in the early 2000s, and there was a lot of money to be had if you were signed to a label, but it wasn't that much. It wasn't that much like movement for people that were unsigned and stuff like that. So I want to know, like, give me your hiccups, give me like the hard of what, like after the 112 when you're trying to get more features, when you're trying to go to the Chris Browns and the Neos as they starting to bubble, and you know that stuff like this is gonna pop, but the label necessarily isn't giving you the backing that you know you need.
You know, I mean, I definitely experienced that. You know, when you know, now it's a little different. Artists have more creative control, and you know, it's a lot more independent type of situations. Even on a major label, artists are still moving like independent artists. So, you know, with me, that I definitely went through that. I went through a merger. You know, when you're going through a merger, when a label, you're on one label and then another label buys it out, you get caught in between that merger. So
you're not our guy no more.
Yeah, not really so that, but just more so if you don't have your business together, it's like they're gonna go with whatever business model is working at the time. You get what I'm saying? So if you're dope and you're dope, this artist is dope too, but your management is together, you got everything together. This artist is kind of going back and forth with, you know, with their management. They're going through some internal problems. I probably go with this right here because
it's more secure.
It's more secure. So just anybody that know my situation, there was always, you know, a management issue with my situation. It was always a, you know, who do we talk to type situation. So
did you understand your contract and stuff like that at an early age?
I understood contracts at an early age. I was a reader, man. I'm very smart. I'm very educated. So I was a reader, and you know, I understood my contracts. Before I signed a bad deal, I kind of knew I was. If I did a bad deal, I wouldn't say I did a bad deal because everything I did got me to this point. Right. But any deal I signed, I kind of knew what I was getting into before I got into it.
And I've heard stories of people that have just been like, yo, this might not, I know 5 years from now, this might suck, but right now they got 200 big ones.
Right,
and I need 200 big ones. Right. And I can make it work. Like, do you think they prey on younger artists like in that?
I mean, of course they do. Of course they do. Anytime you got somebody that's talented that doesn't know the business, or you got somebody that's talented that doesn't have someone around them that knows the business, a label is definitely gonna take advantage of that. You know, it's happening every day on the job, regular job forces.
Yeah.
If you come in and you like give me $5 an hour, but that position's going for 15 an hour, they ain't just gonna be like, oh, you know we're going for 20 an hour now. They're gonna be like, bet I get you that contract right now. So it's the same way, man. I don't really like to play the blame game. You know, I do feel like there should be laws put in place to where under 18, there should be certain things that the labels aren't able to do, even if the parents don't understand. And then after 18, you should be able to have the option to get your lawyer or whatever. Even between 18 and 21, there still should be some stipulation. And then after 21, you're on your own.
Right.
Don't they do that? They do that in acting, right?
Maybe, in acting, it's called a Cougar Fund. I think they put it in the Cougars account or something like that.
Okay.
Something like that. And but you know, parents still get over the actors all the time. They even need more things in place for actors because, you know, there's a lot of kid actors that parents still have access to their money. And you know, but I think they're working on things right now to change that.
Yeah, News and Talk 1380 WAOK, Voice in the Streets Unfiltered. If you're just tapping in with us on the Odyssey app, we're talking to Lil Zane. He's talking about his life, his story, how he got to this point. All right, so I just want to make sure the story is clear.
Yeah.
All right. So you're up. You said you deal with a whole lot of management issues. Is that where kind of like, I don't want to say like you faded to black, but you kind of took a background role, or you switched, or like how you go from being up to like we just not seeing you?
I mean, I look at it like this. You know, let me give you the rundown.
All right,
let me give you the rundown. You know, I dropped in 99, you know what I'm saying, on the Anywhere joint.
Right.
You know, 2000, you know, my album dropped in 2000. I had an album drop in 2000. So between 99 and 2000, I dropped Anywhere. Then I did Money Stretch on the Next Friday soundtrack. Did Calling Me was the first single off my first album.
Right.
But then, you know, in between the Calling Me and dropping my album, it was like a 6 months to a year where I didn't drop an album. I only had a single out.
Yeah.
And a lot of that was from I was always on the road. I probably toured about 2-3 years straight promoting one single. and I had the Anywhere, and I had the Money Stretch. So I had about 3 singles.
So you could do a set.
So I had 3 songs where I could do a set. So I don't think the label was really focused on getting in the studio and finishing the album because we was working so much on the road.
Yeah.
So then in between that, I ended up picking up a movie gig. I did Finding Forrester.
Yeah.
With Sean Connery, rest in peace. Then I did Dr. Dolittle 2. Then I did Fighting Temptations.
Yeah.
Then I did Motives with Vivica Fox. Then I did Day in the Life with Sticky Fingers, Makai Pfeiffer, Omar Epps.
Sticky Fingers.
You know what I'm saying? Then after that, I went to the TV. I started doing more one-on-one. I did the Parker Show.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Then
you were in the
then
Parker.
I did Cold Case. I did Cold Case.
Yeah.
Then I did Moonlight, the vampire show. I played the vampire. You know what I'm saying? Then, you know, I started looking into my contracts a little more, you know, looking up to the contracts a little more, and boom, boom, boom. And, you know, noticed there was some things that need to be fixed on my contract.
Yeah.
So I started just, you know, working, took some time. I had a son, you know, So
how old were you when you had your son?
When I had my son, I was like, you know, 27, 28,
that's me
you know.
right now.
So, you know, I wanted to take some time off to get to know my kids. So I didn't plan to take the time off I did, but, you know, God had it to where, you know, my kids love me. I'm in my kids' life right now. They're old enough now. My kids are 12 now.
Yeah.
So if you look at 12 and 11, so if you do the time, you know, I've been gone, you know, and I wouldn't say gone, but just low key for about, you know, a couple years, just raising my kids. I pop back on y'all though every now and then. I did the Atlanta show in between time.
Yeah.
Pop back on BET a couple times.
Yeah.
Did the Finding Forrester BET. I mean, the Finding BET popped up with 1 million views on that, 2 million views. So I'm just one of them people, man. I'm very private. You know what I'm saying? I'm really like a Dre.
Yeah.
Like Dre disappeared for a minute, you know what I'm saying? But you know, I'm like I said, it's no excuse, but I just took some time off to get to raise my kids, man. This industry will change, make you crazy. You know?
I respect that, and I appreciate you giving the clarity because based on your timeline, it's like you really didn't fade. You just like got into more to your acting.
You know, I got in my acting bag right now. So I know we got to wrap this up, and I appreciate y'all having me too.
We ain't got to go until you got to go.
Okay, cool. I'm here. I'm cool. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. You know, when we get back to commercial, I basically let them know what I'm doing right now. Like everything I'm doing now adds up to the time that I was missing. Like, you know, I was rapping before, and people said, you know, you remind me of Pac or this person. Now when I play my new single for y'all will see like switch my whole swag up, my whole style up. I've written 30 scripts. I'm producing my first film. I wrote 30 scripts before I produced my first film. I've never produced my own film. I produce other films and executive produce other films, put the budget up for other films, but I've never like actually took a film I wrote and produced it and wrote it. So I wrote 30 films before I decided to do one. And that's kind of like, to me, like some Dr. Dre type ish.
That's a big deal.
Like, I'm a perfectionist. Like, I got 7 albums worth of music, but I haven't dropped nothing in years. You know, I got 10 albums worth of music, but I haven't dropped nothing in years. But I go to the studio every day. I'm just a perfectionist. Like, the world won't get it until I'm just happy with it.
Austin, there was a time where we used to make mix CDs. Right?
Yeah.
We used to burn the songs, put them on mix CDs and stuff like that. There's no reason why we should be up sitting here watching and listening to Anywhere and rapping and stuff, because we definitely was not doing it anywhere at the time.
Yo, what was I doing writing something like that?
We have no clue, Zane. No clue. All right.
I was fast for my age. I can't lie.
Hey, it'd be like that. It'd be like that. All right, so if you missed it, we talked to Lil Zane about where he was at. He told us that he's been in his acting bag. He's been sitting there writing 30 scripts. They ain't come out yet. He got 10 albums.
You gotta sell them.
He got 10 albums on deck ready, but he just ain't dropped it because he's a perfectionist.
You know, I'm on my 50 thing. Like, you know, shout out to the big dog, man. You know, 50 just showed me a way to where, like, you know, I just figured it out, man. It's like you can pump albums and push them, but it's like if I wrote 30 scripts, you know, make sure my music sound good. Just put the music in my movies. Put the music in other people's movies. So I'm more about placements right now. You know, I got I got a movie called Gutter on. I got like 7 movies on Tubi. All the movies got music in them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm seeing checks from the music.
Yeah.
You know, so it's all about placements right now. Like I have put a song out called Demons, and it's on a soundtrack for Gutter. You know, I'm seeing good royalty checks from that. I'm seeing good money from that, booking shows from that. But like, if I would have put that single out myself,
yeah,
I would have had to spend so much money at radio, so much money on, you know, just promotion on it. When I figure like, if I attach it to movies I'm doing, or if I attach it to TV shows I'm doing, it's like, you know, by the time I put it out as a single, it already got traction already. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, you still got to promote and come to the radio. Of course, we love the radio, but, you know, just figuring out a cheaper way for me as an artist and a smarter way for me as an executive to put a record out to my fans without it, you know, killing my pockets. So I figure, you know, whatever movie I do, whatever TV show I do, make sure they, you know, buying at least 2-3 songs from me. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And then on that side, like now when I come up with a single, instead of thinking like, oh, I'm just gonna throw it out, I try to figure like, which soundtrack need this, which TV show, which one of my boys is doing, which show 50 doing right now I could get this song on.
Because
you know
I ain't gonna lie, 50 has mastered the art of not only making a hit show intro, but also being able to like, no pun intended, green light these like movies and these projects.
And he's showing you the blueprint. He's showing you the blueprint, man. Like that's what I'm on. And that didn't happen overnight. You know, that didn't happen overnight. Like, you know, others learn a little quicker than people. Some people learn a little quicker than others. You know what I mean?
I think the thing that I feel like 50 figured out that a lot of people, it was right there for a bunch of people and nobody figured it out. We were just talking about Tyler Perry, right? Tyler Perry cornered the market on like the black family. We go into the movies and we're going to chill and watch and we go, you know what I'm saying? You're going to see your elements of family, love, God. All of these things are going to fall into a Tyler Perry movie. You know what you're going to see. When you see a 50 Cent show, you know you're about to see gritty, gangster, real, street, you know what I'm saying? Drug dealer. You finna see the streets. You finna see the streets and not like the streets in a pacified way, the streets how people in the streets view it. And 50 Cent has figured out that there's a million, not even a million, there's millions of people, black, white, Hispanic, whatever, all across the world that like that kind of TV and they weren't getting that itch scratched. So guess who gets to scratch it? 50 got what, 3-4 different versions of Power?
He got
Power out. He got the BMF joint out. And I'm sure it's gonna be more to come off of the BMF.
And it basically just like, and he figured out how to blend the music in with the TV shows. And that's what I had to figure out. Like, you know, you might not hear Lil Zane on the FM radio right now, but then you turn on cable, you hear my song without even knowing you hearing my song.
You see him.
You get what I'm saying? So, you know, shout out to 50 for figuring that out. And people been doing it for, like Ice Cube been doing it.
Yeah.
You know? Next Friday always had a, Ice Cube didn't have to drop no album. You knew when Next Friday came out, he had a single on it. You know, Above the Rim, when Pac and them was in Above the Rim, Pac and them had a single. So the formula been there. But it's just that 50 put it to TV, you know what I'm saying? And now that's, you know, it's just so genius to me just to be able to, because I'm sure he has, just like I have, 50,000 songs in the vault. So it's like, what am I going to do with all these songs in the vault? Because I can't just put them all out, or can I? Just throw them on these soundtracks, throw them on, you know, take that song and throw one of the new artists on it, the NELE Choppers and the Dirks, put them on this song and make it my single. So, you know, and now 50 even performs that.
He does.
You know what I'm saying?
He performs.
Like who do you know has an anthem? Like you're not you don't see nobody performing the Law and Order anthem.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
Yo, Big Rich Town has got to be one of the greatest show intro songs of all time.
You get what I'm saying?
It don't even, no offense to any of the rest of the Power Universes or any of BMF, whatever.
Nah,
like
but
that.
hands down.
Offense, but when you hear,
they started to riot when he switched it.
This is a Big Rich Town, and you hear the music, the instrumentation. Every time I hear it, you get that thrill. Like, oh man, I know Ghost is dead, but geez, like, I still want that.
This is a Big Rich Town.
Yeah,
it come on. So
they was gonna
if he performing that, you're gonna go crazy as soon as it come on. So that's the formula. The formula is to make sure the show is crazy. First of all, that's why I said I wrote 30 scripts before I even shot my first one because I'm a perfectionist. I want to make sure, you know, that and I'm shooting the first one I wrote.
Yeah, dope.
So it's like I wrote one rap, wrote 30 more raps, and I'm about to shoot the video for the first rap.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? It's kind of like, imagine how many times I done went back and made that first rap better.
Yeah.
You know, before I put it out. So, you know, and I can imagine how long 50 had power before he actually dropped it.
Yeah.
So, you know, the whole thing is just about timing and everything. I don't want to make y'all wait too long. Don't get it wrong.
No,
I don't want to be old and wrinkled when I put it out, but I just feel like timing is everything.
And if it ain't right to you, it ain't right to you. And we understand that.
The process it took me to become a real actor that's really taken serious. Most of my acting roles was coming because I was who I was. You know, I was Lil Zane. So
did you feel the pressure to actually improve as an actor when you knew that you was gonna get roles off your music?
I felt the pressure. I felt the pressure after the music died down.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because now you're not just getting booked because you're Lil Zane and you're on top. You got the #1 record. If I get booked now, it's because I really work for the part.
And
I really went in there.
Does it mean more to you knowing that? Because I'm gonna keep it a buck. Even if somebody giving you a job because they know you musically,
but you know what? It means the same because I went in there with 100% all the whole time.
Right.
But what I have now is the after you had the money, after you had the fame, all you want is the #1 spot now.
Right.
That makes you even more dangerous, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like you want the #1 spot.
Yeah.
If you already got the money, if you already had the fame, everywhere I go, people know who I am.
So it's a rejuvenated hunger that comes with
it's a rejuvenated hunger.
They think they killed me.
It's a rejuvenated hunger. It's like you dealing with somebody that he done touched the fame already. He done touched so now you can't sell him that.
Well, let's look at it like this. I look at it like this. Who the guys that just went on the Millennium Tour?
B2K.
All right, so B2K, take B2K, right? 2 people in B2K that are actually relevant, like as far as like just common conversation. And then we have somebody like you where people want to pretend like just because you decided to raise your kids and focus on other things that you fell off, and then you come back and get instantly back into the zeitgeist. You instantly right back into the public eye. You instantly are in films. You instantly getting your music. Yeah. You instantly getting your music placed in different places and stuff like that. That challenges the whole idea of relevancy anyway. Like what people think is relevant isn't actually relevant.
Exactly. It's like you could think someone not popping, but then you turn on the TV, you watching the #1 show in the world, and I pop up.
What's that mean?
You know what I'm saying? Like it's like okay, he's not. It's just he's different. He's in a different lane right now.
It just means you not paying. I'm taking somewhere else. It just means you're not paying attention to whatever Lil Zane. You're waiting for Lil Zane to pop up with a music video instead of just following who Lil Zane is. I think you should be more. I think people now in 2023 are more fans of people than they are of their product. When you first blew up, they were more fans of your music than you. They didn't even know. They didn't get to know you.
I disagree with that.
Tell me.
I've always told myself, and I've always been told my whole career that my personality has always been bigger than my music. If you was going off personality and the people that love me, I'll be 100 million sold. People love me. Like brothers can act like I want to say
no, you good.
Ninjas can act like they don't want to, but at one point in your career, at one point in your life, you know what I'm saying, if you didn't want to be Lil Zane, you hated Lil Zane because you couldn't be him. You know what I'm saying?
When I say that, I don't mean as if people didn't love you. What I'm talking about is the reach with
I get what you're
media.
saying. I get what you're saying. But what I'm saying is, even going back, I feel like my personality was always bigger than any movie I did, any music I did, because my personality is big. I'm a loving person.
Right.
You see me. I'm like, what up, bro? You gonna feel like we went to high school together.
Right.
So when I don't see 100 million records sold, and I see the people that love me, it kind of confused me sometimes.
Right.
But then now I'm noticing that, okay, the acting, it helps me to, now the fans can identify with that because, again, I'm showing my personality. Whether I'm showing a Saki character, whatever, I get to show different personalities. I couldn't really do that with my music.
I think that's what people lose it. Like if I don't feel like I could connect to you, if I don't feel like you a cool dude, if I don't feel like I like this dude, I want to support this dude, you've lost.
And I can't even say I couldn't do that with music. I take that back. I wasn't given the room to do that with music like I am now. Like my music now, you gonna hear it and you get you heard my stuff, Jay. My new stuff, you gonna hear the freedom.
Yeah.
You know, one thing you work in life for, forget the money, bro. I want freedom, bro.
Exactly.
And that's what I was saying earlier is like you took time to develop and be an actual human being, a good person.
I could do whatever movie I want to do right now. I could do whatever, release whatever single I want to do. I couldn't do that before. That's freedom.
Yeah.
I could take a trip when I want to take it right now. I could leave this radio station interview in the middle of this interview right now.
Yeah.
And only have to think about it. Like, my money good, I'm good. Like, it's freedom. You know what I'm saying? Now everything I'm doing it more because I want to and like you said, that rejuvenated hunger.
Yeah. And
and to me, that's what makes an artist. To like Drake, he gets better and better every time because it's like, what can I do next?
Yeah, and people try to knock him for it.
Rick Ross gets better every time.
Throw shots
what
at
can
him.
I do next? You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
I don't never dwell off of what we did before. I'm always trying to get to the next plateau. And sometimes you got to take the people laughing at you and the ridicule. You got to go through that sometimes to shed that skin. My skin I got tough skin, bro. I've been in the industry since I was 11.
Yeah.
I've been hearing the radio criticize me since 11, or people, or in general, always had an opinion. When you a kid in the industry, you're used to people telling you their opinions.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? The average kid don't grow up with everybody saying your opinion.
All right, so tell us about Famous. You know what I'm saying?
Famous. That's my new single, man. Well, I wouldn't even call it I would call it my single. It's just a record, man. I don't even know, man. We gonna let the fans decide, man. Famous is a new record that my man sent me this record. He's like, yo, I did a Pac joint over. And I'm like, what? So he said, I did that All Eyes on Me Pac joint over. And I was like, all right, boom, send it to me. So he sent it to me. And I just thought about, making a song for those cats. This that song for that artist that's on the verge of blowing. He on the verge of blowing, and nobody believed in you. Then as soon as you made it, now everybody gonna act like they just loved you from the start. So this is for all them artists right here that's on the verge of blowing, that person that's sitting at the crib that got that vision of opening up that new restaurant. But just on the break of just making it, and you got to just believe in yourself. This that record right here that just once you finally make it, you could look back and say, this for all the non-believers right here. So it's called Famous, man.
All right, so Zane, I want to play a little game with you. All right,
what's up?
So anytime that I got people over here, you know what I mean, I always ask this. I got this segment I like to do called Top 5.
Okay.
All right,
let's go.
So I'm gonna let you choose.
Yeah.
All right. You can do top 5 rappers, right, who are littles, like the little or young.
I know already. I know already. Lil Zane.
All right.
I don't see nobody else, man.
All right.
I don't see nobody else. I got tunnel vision right now. I don't see nobody else. You know what I'm saying? It's my time. Everybody else had their time. It's my time right now, man. Play that record, man. Let the world decide. You know what I'm saying? Who they top 5 is. I think I set the standard for everything, though. Okay. So we're just going to bring it back to where it's supposed to be. Okay. Shout out to all the littles out there. You know what I'm saying? We need to all get together, do a record or something. But right now, this new record gonna show everybody who the top little is. You know what I'm saying?
There you go. Well,
we do it like that.
Well, there you have it.
We got to bring that competition back. Let's go, man. We ain't scared of the comp, man. We still talking our ish, man. We ain't nothing changed, man.
Right.
Now, the one thing about me, I'm still the same OZ. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to pop my ish. You know what I'm saying? Because this is what we doing, man. We drinking water and popping our ish,
There we go. Talk that talk.
Wearing our own clothes, drinking our own water, producing our own records, making our own movies. You know what I'm saying? Putting together our own tours. You know what I'm saying? We popping, man. Drop that song, man. It's called Famous, man. I've been famous, man. Long time now, man.
That's
we 2 decades in right now, baby. We've been famous for a long time, baby.